ever experienced a situation when you have to do a task which seems difficult? You know that it is going to be beneficial for you. In fact, it is absolutely necessary that you do it, and still you find it very hard to do it, and your mind seems to be resisting it. Who hasn't experienced this? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why your brain resists these tasks which are going to be beneficial to you in the long run, and also 6 strategies which will help you to overcome this resistance and get the things that you want to get done even when they are hard. Hi, I'm Divya Thampi. I'm a smart productivity coach and I help working women achieve their goals 5 times faster. Make sure that you like this video if you do, and subscribe to this channel so that you get notified every time I come with a new video. So let's get started. Now, our brain has been designed in such a way that it prefers to do things which are familiar and makes it feel comfortable, and avoid things that feel uncomfortable. Now, where does this comfort and discomfort come from? We find those things comfortable which we have done before multiple times. So every time we do something new, the brain cells or the neurons have to form new connections. And forming new connections in the brain requires energy. The main focus of the brain is to avoid spending any extra energy. Now, if there are connections which have already been formed, for example, if there is a particular kind of work that you're used to doing, because you're doing that on a routine basis, then you already have neural connections which have formed in the brain, and it does not take any extra effort for you to do it again. However, when you have to do something new neural connections have to be formed. Now the brain starts to feel uncomfortable because more energy is getting used up, and hence you may have a tendency to avoid that task and instead replace it with something which is easy. But we all know that if we want to progress in life and we want to achieve the goals which are super important to us, the only way to do that is to do the tasks which are difficult. So let's look at the strategies that will help you to overcome this resistance. The first strategy is to use the strategy of reappraisal. So any situation can be looked at from different angles or different perspectives. So a normal perspective of looking at something difficult is that we want to avoid it. Like for example, let's say you want to start a new workout routine. Normally your brain would resist it because a new workout routine is going to take more effort from your side. You're going to sweat a lot more. Your body is going to be sore after you do it. You're not going to feel like you are an expert in doing it because you're doing it for the first time. So how do you bring about the motivation to do something that is hard? Something like this. Okay, the way to do that is to reappraise the situation or look at it from a different angle. So rather than focusing on all the effort that it will take you to be able to do this workout, what you want to focus on is the end result of that particular session. But not just that, you also want to focus on the kind of person that you would become as you continue to do this kind of activity. Okay, so we want to focus on the identity that we will be able to have when we continue to do the activity that you are resisting. The thing with identity is, for example, let's take the workout. If I continue to do hard workout, then I am somebody who will be healthy, fit, strong, muscular, toned, etc. And when I continue to do this, because my mind is seeing my body take that action, I start seeing myself as an action taker. I start seeing myself as a gymmer. So I give myself the identity of being a gymmer. And slowly and steadily, I start taking pride in the fact that I'm a gymmer and I'm somebody who's strong and fit. And slowly and steadily, other people also see me as somebody who works out and who's healthy and fit. Now, once I start taking pride in the kind of identity that I have, then I will not give it up easily. And then it becomes easy for me to do those kind of activities, despite the physical and the mental effort. The second strategy is to leverage the growth mindset. Now, a lot of us have been socialized into what is referred to as a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is the idea that everybody has a specific amount of talent and capability and skill, etc. Which means that if I try something And if I am not able to do it well, it automatically means that I'm not skilled or I'm not talented and I don't have it in me. Okay, but this is really not true. The growth mindset way of looking at a situation is that whenever you are doing something and you are struggling to do whatever it is that you're doing, it means that you're growing. So, growth mindset tells you that discomfort is a sign that you are growing. While fixed mindset tells you that if you are talented, then the task that you're doing has to be easy. Okay, so if you keep your focus on the growth mindset and remind yourself that every time you find something hard, every time you make mistakes, every time you're struggling with something, it is an indication that you're growing and getting better. The third strategy is to break down the work into different phases. What do I mean by this? A lot of times the reason why we are resisting a task is because it is very big. It looks like a big hairy thing and we're not sure how to do it. And it seems like too much of effort will have to be put and we're not even clear about how to go about doing it. Hence, what you want to do is break down the task into phases of the task. For example, if you're looking at creating a presentation that you have never done before, it's an absolutely a new presentation about a new idea. Rather than saying that, okay, I need to create an absolutely brilliant presentation and keeping your focus on creating that brilliant presentation, you want to first focus on what is the first thing that I need to do to get started. Okay. Before you can get anywhere close to the final version of the presentation, you first need to have come up with some basic ideas of what needs to go into the presentation. So right now you may not even use the laptop. The first phase is to just put down some broad ideas about what could go into the presentation, or even better, the first phase could be what is the objective of this presentation? Who is your audience? What are they looking for? And you give yourself some time to complete this first phase of the task. So the whole idea is that you divide the entire task into different phases. The first phase could be ideation, the second phase could be fleshing out the ideas, the third phase could be putting all the ideas together, the fourth phase could be creating a presentation, the fifth phase could be refining the presentation, and the sixth one could be creating the final presentation with the visuals. So you see what I'm talking about is breaking down the task into different phases. The fourth strategy is to break down the task which seems so difficult into smaller bite-sized parts. Okay, one of the reasons why we resist a task is because our mind tells us that it is going to not only take a lot of effort, but we are going to have to stay in that state of effort and discomfort for long periods of time, and we don't want to get started. Hence, what you can do is look at the task, and if it is a task which may probably take you 5 or 6 hours to do, you don't have to do the entire thing in one go. What you can do is tell yourself that I'm going to start by focusing on this task for 25 minutes at a time. So you sit with a timer, set it for 25 minutes, focus on the task for 25 minutes, even if that means you're just thinking about ideas. Okay. And once the clock hits 25 minutes, you stop it, you break from the task that you have been doing, give yourself a break of 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and you can use this break for getting yourself a snack, getting a drink for yourself, a drink of water or tea or coffee or whatever it is, taking a walk. And once you feel a little more refreshed, you can come back for the small little second chunk, which is another 25 minutes. When you do it this way, then your brain knows that it just has to be in the state of slight discomfort for 25 minutes, after which it is going to get a break. And now you will not have the resistance to doing this task. The fourth strategy is to have an accountability partner. In fact, it may be a good idea for you to have more than one accountability partners. Let me tell you a little story from my own life. When I was a child, I did not really like studying. It used to take a lot of effort. I used to find that quite uncomfortable and I used to avoid it for as long as I possibly could. However, if my mom was to say that, you study for half an hour and after that I will ask you questions, that used to get me excited. Okay, because now there was somebody who was there to hold me accountable and I enjoyed the process of being able to answer those questions. and experiencing that sense of validation or that satisfaction that I was able to complete something that I set out to complete. Hence, having an accountability partner is where you let them know at the beginning of the day what it is that you're going to do, and it could be specifically about this task where you tell them that you are going to be starting work on this task and you're going to complete it by the end of the day, or you're going to start work on this task and going to complete it by the end of the week, whatever it is. Okay, so that they can hold you accountable. Now, the way the accountability works is you could, depending on whether it's a system that you use over a period of time for all the tasks or whether it is specifically for a difficult task, you may meet up or have calls or even WhatsApp messages at certain frequencies. For example, if it is a task that you need to get done in 3 days' time, you may have a quick call at the end of each day where you give them an update of where you are as far as that particular task is concerned. We humans do well when we have somebody else to hold us accountable for the work that we need to do. It works even better if you have an accountability partner who also shares with you the work that they have to do, and you are able to hold each other accountable. Okay, so this is a beautiful system that helps you to get over the resistance of doing something which is difficult. The sixth strategy or the last strategy is to surround yourself with people who do hard things. So let me give you an example. I decided that I was going to run the half marathon and I was doing this after a long gap. And when I started the practice, it was quite hard, So I was doing 1 kilometer and then I had to move up to 2 or 3 because I had not run for a very long time. I had like 2-3 years of gap in between. So I moved up from 2, 3, 4, 5 and then every time I had to increase the distance that I had to run, my mind just came up with a whole lot of resistance. So that's when I decided that I'm going to join a running club. And of course, my aim was to have, accountability, because if I'm running with a group of people and if I've told them that I'm going to be running with them, then it becomes easy. So I was looking at the accountability part of it. But what also happened was, over and above the accountability part of it, is when I joined this running club, I interacted with a lot of people. Every time I ran with somebody and we had conversations, and there was a lot of conversation about the kind of practice and the training that they were doing. And it was really inspiring to see the kind of practice, effort that each of these people was putting in. While I was here to train for a half marathon, many of the people in the club were training for a full marathon, and they were practicing far more than I was doing. Hence, automatically, I was inspired to do more, and the amount of effort that I was putting in started to seem less in comparison to the kind of effort that they were putting in. So this really kept me motivated, and it prevented my brain from looking at all the effort as something which is too much of an effort. Okay, so when you surround yourself with people who are doing the kind of things that you want to be doing, which are tough to do, okay, you feel inspired. And not only that, something called the goal contagion happens, right? Because if we have a tendency to pick up the goals that the people around us have, or rather the people with whom we hang around with have. So be choosy about the kind of people that you hang around with, and make a conscious effort to spend more time with those people whom you admire and already do the things that you want to be doing. So let's take a quick recap of the 6 strategies that will help you to overcome the resistance to do hard tasks and get them done. The first one was reappraisal, looking at what you're going to achieve from different angles which are useful to you, and focusing on the kind of person you will become as a result of the activity that you do. The second one is focusing on growth mindset, reminding yourself that every time you're feeling uncomfortable, it is a sign that you're growing. The third strategy was to break down the task into different phases. The fourth strategy was to break down the task into different parts, bite-sized parts. Fifth strategy is to have an accountability partner. And the sixth strategy is to surround yourself with people who are already doing the things or the difficult things that you want to be doing. Let me know if you like this video by clicking on the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Divya signing off right now, and I'll see you for my next video.